Good afternoon, everybody. In today's forecast, we are focusing on the Southern Plains once again. We've had several days of severe weather across the Northern Plains, especially Minnesota, and there was a pretty cool looking tornado in Nebraska. But now we're dealing with a pretty big threat today. We have a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk across southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma. So, this is going to be stretched over along the cold front today, and we're also going to be doing a forecast for tomorrow. In today's forecast, I will make an updated forecast for tomorrow, uh, but right now we're focusing on today. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Here is the jet stream. Clearly have it's kind of rigid a little bit. Not gonna lie. But as the day continues, it should look a little... Oops. And the jet stream energy... the jet stream isn't, like, very strong. But as you can see here, going into tomorrow, it does get just a little bit stronger across central southern Kansas and central Oklahoma. And we got to watch carefully for the cold front tomorrow as well, from pretty much Oklahoma all the way up into the upper Midwest. Now going into temperatures, right now the cold front, you can kind of see where it's at a little bit. It's roughly right here. But we can just see some 80s, mid to upper 80s, maybe even a 90 here and there. Yep, there's a 90 across central and southern Oklahoma. And throughout the day, this very warm air will continue up into Kansas. So, but it does kind of slow down a little bit, and you can see it kind of comes across the cold front, which should be draped about right here, I believe. So, and anything out ahead of that can also produce tornadoes. Or this isn't going into Tuesday. So Tuesday late afternoon, evening, and then obviously overnight, this cold front kind of crashes down into Oklahoma, and it's going into Wednesday. So keeping a close eye on that. Dew points. Yeah, we have a lot of moisture in the air. We're talking 70s across Oklahoma right now and North Texas. And some of this will eventually move further up north into Kansas. As we can see here, just how much moisture comes out from the Gulf into southern Kansas and the main concerned area. But so it's going to be very, very warm and very, very unstable. And then going into this late evening after 6 o'clock and early Wednesday morning, that cold front starts to move through, and it does take some storms with it. Let's go ahead and go into severe weather here. Let's look at mixed layer Cape values. Now we do have Cape values rising right now ahead of the cold front. All this Cape will move further north, and as they kind of buckle into that cold front, it'll kind of come to a stop. But watch as it just steadily rises here, and it does appear that this is where the cold front just kind of does appear to me that this is where the cold front's at, and anything out ahead of this will be very, very strong storms. It's about its okay, yeah, this is about its peak here. So we got about 4,700 joules per kilogram. So we got about 4,000 to 5,000 joules per kilogram out ahead of this storm system here. And that's mainly on the border of Oklahoma and Kansas right here. So got to keep a very close eye on any of these storms. They will be capable of producing tornadoes, damaging wind, and large to very large hail. And overnight, when that cold front starts to smash on down, it'll push everything down south. And we do have some Cape leftover or convective available potential energy, also known as instability. We do have some of that left over, so we may see a couple severe storms in central Oklahoma late Tuesday into maybe early Wednesday morning. Let's go and look at significant tornado parameter, and we're already seeing some of it spiking here across northwest Oklahoma, which includes the Panhandle. So going into later hours, the tornado parameter does spike a little bit. They are close to the border. Got to keep a very close eye on, again, anything ahead of this cold front. As it continues to drip south, the parameter just continues here. You can really see it just spike here. So we're definitely going to have to watch that area along the Oklahoma-Kansas border. And eventually that shifts south. And if we do have any storms in Oklahoma late tomorrow, or sorry, not late tomorrow, like late today into early tomorrow, we may need to watch a couple storms here, but only time will tell to see what happens exactly. But look at that. And this is going into tomorrow, so, and that significant tornado parameter just kind of sits around. So if there's any storms kind of left over, they may need to be watched along that cold front. Let's go ahead and check out hotographs here. And here's some of that CAPE values here, surface based. And again, as the instability rises into Kansas and Oklahoma, and some of the hotographs look pretty decent, but I don't know. We'll probably have to keep a close eye on that. Let's go into reflectivity now. And we already have storm initiation here along the cold front. We are expecting more. But let's go ahead and move on here. We got to start to see some storm development, some isolated supercellular development here in Kansas. Some of it will be more like a little bit like clusters, but it does appear like we may see some storms in the Texas Panhandle and maybe far western Oklahoma. May need to keep an eye on these storms. Pretty much anything that can stay out ahead of the cold front can be strong. Can be strong and will be severe. But specifically, these storms that kind of fire up here. Here's another wave of it right here. This is going to probably be the most damaging wind threat here in southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma. It is kind of late into or early Wednesday morning. And then this complex we can see it bow out here actually. You can see that bow. That's gonna be damaging wind threats even into southwest Missouri. When you see storms bow out like that, you're going to see some damaging wind gusts for sure. Then, according to this model, kind of breaks down. But going into early Wednesday morning, we see another area here. Not entirely confident that this will happen. It certainly could. But still keeping a close eye on that entire complex as it shifts east and southeast. And anything that could stay ahead of the cold front needs to be watched very, very closely. Now let's go to the Storm Prediction Center. Here's your level 4 moderate risk here, which includes Wichita, Kansas, Woodward, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a surrounding area for the enhanced risk, which includes Liberal, Kansas, and it does also include Tulsa there, and then a slight risk ranging, it kind of looks like a U shape almost, but it does include Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Jefferson City, and off to the west, Denver and Pueblo, Colorado. Let's go ahead and look in the tornado risk. Here's that 5% risk here in southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma. It includes Woodward, Tulsa, Wichita, and just barely liberal Kansas there. And we have a 2% risk out here, which does include the Washington, D.C. area. Going into the wind risk, there's that very significant wind risk. We're looking at 82, possibly up to as high as 100 miles per hour. So we do have to keep an eye on that wind risk very, very closely as these storms kind of expand and strengthen and that instability drips in. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on that there. And hail, Although not as high, we still need to keep an eye on for softballs, maybe larger, in northwest Oklahoma through southeast Kansas, which does include Wichita, Woodrow, Woodward, not quite Tulsa. So these are going to be more with the more isolated supercells that kind of start in their life cycle, but still need to be watched fairly closely. This sums up today's forecast, and I may go live today. It depends on how rowdy the storms get, but keep an eye on out for a possible live stream here on my channel.